Hey everybody, no man is an island. You've heard that line? I remember when I was in high school in English literature, that was one of the themes. Maybe it was Mr. Vickers' class, I'm not exactly 100% sure, but be that as it may, no man is an island. The simple idea being that we influence others, others influence us. The source of that, by the way, I looked it up. No man is an island originally. It's a famous line from Devotions Upon Emergent Occasions, a 1624 prose work by English metaphysical poet and cleric in the Church of England, John Donne. That's where the line comes from. In our Talmud, it says, Adam nimshach mesvivosav. A person is influenced by his environment. We influence others, others influence us. It's a give and take. We know that's how life works. I'll give you a beautiful example of this. So this Sunday, please God, I'll be getting on an El Al flight and going on a momentum trip. 8 of us here in South Florida, 8 guys, 8 men. We'll be joining a number of other cities, about 80 people in total, on a momentum men's trip. 6 weeks ago, I had very little faith that this trip was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to take place. 6 weeks ago, as you recall, the bombs were coming in from Lebanon. Many of them, the Iran thing, everything. And so needless to say, a number of the participants were getting a little bit concerned and worried about traveling to Israel. One fellow bailed right away. That's it. He said, I'm not going. The others, there's myself and a co-leader, John Poland, and then there was the other guys. 2 of them were committed to going, but the rest were not, and we needed a minimum number. So we did a Zoom call just so people can kind of express how they're feeling and such. And on that call, neither I nor John, we didn't sell anything. We didn't try and push anything. We just let the guys talk it out amongst themselves. And an amazing thing happened in the course of those 40 minutes of that call, because the guys who were committed to going ended up inspiring the guys who were sitting on the fence. And by the end of that call, everyone was on board. Everyone was on board. And then the next day, when the fellow who was the first guy to bail saw in the chat that we're all going, he had canceled his ticket. He went and bought his ticket back, and he's going as well. Beautiful example of how we can inspire one another, that people can lift and inspire other people. And by the way, on Sukkot, we had a young woman who was an El Al flight attendant. She was on one of Karen's momentum trips. And she was telling us how inspiring it is for her and how meaningful it is for Israelis that people go and visit Israel right now, especially since, as we know, all the airlines are canceling. They don't have many tourists at all. Now, this dovetails with this week's Torah portion, Lech Lecha, because when it comes to inspiring other people, this week's Torah portion talks about an individual who probably had the greatest impact on all of mankind. Avraham Avinu, Avraham, the first of the forefathers. Not the originator of monotheism. People say he's the first monotheist. It's not true. Noah certainly believed in one God. Adam, others, contemporaries of Avraham. He was the first person who did something about it, who tried to publicize it, if you will. And so here you have Avraham, who's the father of course, we know not only of Judaism, Christianity, Islam, billions of people that he's influenced. We're not all going to be like Avraham and influence billions of people and have an impact on them. But keep in mind how it all started with Avraham. Because when this week's Parsha, when it talks that he's told to go to Haran, to leave Haran and to go to the land of Canaan, it says he takes everything, and he also takes Hanefesh She'asu b'Haran, the people that he made in Haran, his students, his followers, the people who he had an impact on. It started with a small group. And so, once again, each and every one of us, we're not going to influence billions necessarily, but we can have a very, very meaningful impact on the people around us, on our society, on our family, the people in our community. And just like these guys, where a couple of them inspired others to lift themselves spiritually and meaningfully, so we can do the exact same thing. And if this inspires you in any which way to go visit Israel, and I hope it does, fantastic, wonderful. Have a good Shabbat.